Yeah, what's up, traders? Welcome to another analysis. In this analysis, we are going to not just talk about BTC. We're also going to be talking about this swing trade that we're currently holding in our community. So we actually share this trade for free in our WhatsApp channel and also WhatsApp group. The links to those groups and channel right there in the description or in the pinned comment. Now, before we head over to talking about BTC, this trade, if you are in our soft community and you're holding this trade, what I would advise, right, is for you to target this particular zone over here as your TP1. All right, you want to take your TP1 around there because of this market imbalance over here. So because there might be possibility that price could retest that imbalance and we might see some kind of retracement to fill up some imbalance here to then continue upward. So, but even though that doesn't happen, it's always nice for you to, you know, back some profits. Now you can also take some profits around this neckline, which is where we are right now. So it all depends on what you want to do. So, but the overall TP though my overall TP is around this neckline over here. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because this movement is not yet a clear sign that gold wants to start going upwards because we did not create a new high. We still rejected from this particular zone over here. So yeah, so the main target is just this zone over here. So by just use your own discretion and know where to exit the market. But if I'm exiting, I'll also let you guys know. So yeah, that's for good. Now let's head over to BTC and actually take a look at BTC and see what is happening. Now we predicted that BTC was going to go down to 90k, right? And it fell down to 90k. Now, as you can see, this is an empty chart. And the reason why I love using empty charts like this is that so that while you're also watching this video, you also learn. This is not one of those communities or channel where um you have so many confusing drawings on the um, analysis on the charts telling you this is support resistance. We break down things how we showing you how we get our signals, why we are saying that price is going here or is going there. Now in this whole structure over here, you can see over here that on the weekly time frame we do have this very neat structure. I just love trading BTC, to be honest, especially on the higher time frame. As you can see over here, this is the market structure that we have right here. Now, what are we expecting? We are expecting price to do what? Create a new high. But here is the thing, right? We have we have actually created similar structures over here, but none of them held price and price still went down to this level. Now, remember in my previous video, I told you guys that this FEG over here was the overall target of the market. A lot of people on YouTube was this is support buy. I told you guys that this level was not going to hold the price because when you have a weekly if you go down, this is clearly a daily demand zone. Though it looks like a weekly, but this is the main weekly demand zone. But this looks like a weekly demand zone. And the reason I say so is because obviously if you look at the main structure, that is the standard structure, this can't be a support zone or a demand zone for BTC on the weekly time frame. This should be the actual demand zone. So that's one reason why I overlooked this level. And another reason I also overlooked it was that we had what we call a kind of engineered liquidity over here. All right, this was an engineered liquidity. Now, technically, using let's say smart money now, right? I don't know why that. Okay, so technically, using smart money, price will come and clear the liquidity, which means to take out this low and take out this low. So that was why I said that this level was not going to hold. As you can see, the level did not hold. Now, the question on everybody's lips is what now happens now that we've hit 90k, right? As we hit exactly 90k, I think it's 9,400 thereabouts. So that's roughly 90k. What now happens in the market? Well, before we do that, I want you guys to take a look at something because the reason I'm taking you guys back to higher time frames is that we see what is actually happening on the larger scale of things. Um, it's not all about saying buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Yeah, sometimes you might keep buying it, but we're already done with the bear market. Now, let's take a look at what happened in the previous bull market. What actually happened before we started seeing the market crashing now? Are you seeing any similarity here on the monthly time frame? A high liquidity sweep, right? Then over here, we have a high and liquidity sweep. You can see there's a similarity between what happened here and also what happened here. Now, does it mean that market is going to start crashing? No, but it's just for you to be very cautious because the market is creating similar pattern. Now, let's head over to the 4-hour time frame so that we can now actually look at what is happening in the market or what to expect in the meantime. Now, let's first of all go to the daily time frame so that we'll map out the current structure. Even though it's on the weekly, but I'm still just going to use the daily time frame. Now, this is what I refer to as my golden zone. Now, the actual settings on the Fibonacci tool, this golden zone is only available for those who have my soft model course, and I update these levels um, depending on the market condition. All right. So recently we updated it and I shared it with those who bought that course. And yeah, they have my new settings. So and as you can see, this is basically where the market is retracing from now. If you also check the go trade we took, right, you will see that that's the same zone that price respected. So there's psychology behind it, but you only get to know that if you have access to the soft model course. But that is not why we are here. So what we're expecting here, or what we're expecting to see, right, is for the market to give us a change of character. It's very simple. But then we have an FEG on the daily time frame untapped, right? So what I'm personally expecting is that on the 4-hour time frame, this is the movement I'm expecting to see before I will confirm that okay, I'm no longer selling BTC. I might start looking at longing BTC. Now I would want to see BTC go up to this level, right? Then reject, come down to this level, take out the liquidity of these guys that felt that okay, we should start buying the market. Then take out the liquidity, then tap into, there's a neckline over here, then give us a proper change of character. Not if we don't see this, until we see this particular movement over here, I will not advise anybody to start buying. Now, mind you, this might not happen like this. You might see it in other form or in another form. Let's say something like this. You might see something like this, price going and doing this and this. It is still the same thing as long as price has bounced from that golden zone, right? See something like this, change of character. So if you already understand how market structure works, then you understand what change of character is. So these are the two movements that will convince me that okay, it seems like the market is ready to reverse. Now, another thing to also add there is what I call the secondary confirmation, which is a break of trend line. Now, as you can see, we're going to have multiple trend lines over here. This one is coming from that wedge, though the wedge got invalidated because it broke to the downside over here. So I'm no longer going to consider that as wedge. So what I'm going to be focusing on is the upper trend line. So this as well. So this change of character is going to be the first signal that the market is reversing. Now remember I told you it's either going to happen like this or you will see something like this, right? So either of these two is going to happen. Then the secondary confirmation to confirm that the market is actually reversing or has started reversing is when we now see, let's say something like this, retracement, then we now see price breaking this trend line. And this is going to be happening around, let's say 95K, 100K. So this is when you will now confirm that, okay, you should now start looking at long opportunities. But as long as we are below those trend lines over here, right, and there is no clear 4 hour change of character, you don't need it to be on the daily. You just need it to be on the 4 hour time frame. So as long as there is none of those two, you continue selling the market. Now the question now is, in the meantime, what am I doing with BTC? Well, for me, I'm still selling BTC. I'm still looking for sell opportunities. So levels to look at for sell opportunities. If you are to use neckline, this zone over here is a zone to look out for sell. This zone is a zone to look out for sell. This current zone is also another zone to look out for sell. But this zone will present better entry opportunities, all right? Because if you are to map out the actual supply zone over there, this is going to be the actual supply zone. Then if I'm to take my Fibonacci and look for golden zone, you see that those two levels above there, they are the best places to sell BTC. So what you might be expecting in the coming days, something like this. You might see some kind of retracement, then it will now make that move I told you. Then before we'll see change of character. So this is basically what I'm expecting from BTC in the main sense. To remember that the golden zone is a very, very delicate zone. This is where decision whether market is going to reverse or is going to continue going down is normally made. So right here, we don't want to play around that much with BTC. We want to wait to see this pattern, or if we see price retracing back into this golden zone, take a sell from there. So it's as simple as that, guys. So for the gold position, we're still holding this position, right? I already told you guys, don't take your TP1, right? If you're already in this trade, you can take your TP1 over here. Then if you're not in this trade and you missed it, or you were not in our community, you've not joined our community, just check the link below this video and get access to the WhatsApp channel and the WhatsApp group. All right. So guys, that's all for BTC and gold. Do have a lovely trading week ahead. Bye.